Rush Limbaugh is going to go after Paul Krugman and other economists and basically make the claim that he, a college dropout, knows more about the economy than the economists.
You know, heck with it. Now, Kilmeade says, okay, the economy hasn't turned around despite how he projected it to, and most economists expect... This is really a fundamental question for me. What economists expected the stimulus to work? Who are they? We need names because they're no longer qualified to weigh in as experts. People like Thomas Lupe Friedman, New York Times, Paul Krugman, New York Times, and I'm sure a bunch of Ivy League economists really believe this Keynesian belief. You just flood the zone with federal dollars, you can't help but grow the economy. The problem is, where do the dollars come from? You have to take the dollars out of the private sector first before you flood the zone. So it's a net zero effect. Now, if you had a pile of money over there that wasn't being used, which we don't, and you flooded the private sector with that, then maybe we could talk about a short-term stimulus. But that's not possible because we're $17 trillion in debt. So there is not a pile of money not being used that you can throw into the private sector and stimulate it. If you're going to throw in $1 trillion, you have to first take that $1 trillion from somewhere. And that's done via taxes and regulations. So bring it down to a more personal level. You're going to stimulate your annual income. You're going to give yourself a $10,000 raise. But to get it, you've got to take it from your bank account. So you go write a check on your account for $10,000, you get it in cash, and you put it in your back pocket, and you think, I just got a stimulus or a raise. You didn't. You just transferred the money. Net zero. That's all that stimulus was. And any economist that's honest and has any kind of economic understanding could have told anybody there's going to be a net wash. In fact, it's going to be bad. It is not going to stimulate anything.
The thing about Rush Limbaugh that's so infuriating is that he's wrong from his premise. He's always wrong from his premise, and then never mind the factual inaccuracies that come after the premise. But it's always like right from the beginning, within the first sentence, he sets up something that's incorrect, and then he, pontificates for 2 hours, just totally missing the point in every way, shape, and form. So to the claim that the stimulus didn't work, which he said in roughly the first 0.02 seconds there, okay? Show the chart. All right, the Bush recession brought about by deregulation, the subprime mortgage crisis, and cutting taxes on the rich, all policies that, Rush Limbaugh supports. Well, the Bush recession, we were losing 839,000 jobs a month when he left. 839,000 jobs a month. Obama comes in, stops the bleeding, okay? They do the bailouts and the stimulus, and I disagreed with all of the bailouts except for the ones of the car industries. But I agreed with the stimulus, and I just wish it was more, targeted infrastructure spending. But either way, it was better than nothing. And clearly it worked. The chart shows that. So under Bush, he had a private sector net loss of jobs over his 8 years in office of 600,000 jobs. That's almost unheard of. Even presidents that don't do well with the private sector usually have a small amount of job creation of 1 or 2 million jobs. This guy lost 600,000 private sector jobs. Obama has 46 straight months of job growth and 8.2 million private sector jobs created. And he's been in for, 5 years? So you can thank the stimulus for a lot of that. The stimulus definitely worked.